Hello? Hello? What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Cc Semtex, and I just wanted to bring a quick little WrestleMania what-if type of match. And CM Punk versus Shawn Michaels actually could have happened on a number of occasions, but sadly, Shawn was retired, so it wasn't able to happen. And when he was an active wrestler, he was mainly on Raw. Well, actually, he was always on Raw. And CM Punk was mainly on SmackDown or the new ECW, which sucked. But they never really had the chance to really get in the ring with each other one-on-one and just have an all-out match or anything like that. I'm sure they've done tag team matches together, like DX and CM Punk and Jeff Hardy versus the Nexus, or I don't know, anybody. But we're going to see what this match would have been like if it would have taken place. And of course, we're going to put it on old school WrestleMania 14, I believe. This is when Shawn Michaels proverbially passed the torch. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Proverbially? I don't know. But he passed the torch to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was taking off and becoming the most successful and most recognized WWE wrestler at the time. So there is no Mike Tyson here to pull any punches. But there is CM Punk. CM Punk is the defending WWE champion in my WWE universe. And I totally forgot that he was the champion because of my universe mode. I don't really use the WWE title. I created Ring of Honor because I believe Ring of Honor is far superior than anything the WWE has put out in the last 4 years. And I say that only because Undertaker and Shawn Michaels wrestled at WrestleMania. But without those matches, Ring of Honor is the best thing since WWE in like the early 2000s, like 2004, when The Rock and Stone Cold was still there. When Triple H was still active, Edge was still active, Jeff Hardy was still there, and they actually used people and had talent. But sadly, the WWE has focused mainly on John Cena, the Ryback, because they don't want to call him Ryback anymore. They tried to trademark that, but they don't want to call him Ryback no more. They want to call him the Ryback. But pretty much that's it. And CM Punk. The Rock was there for a short little coffee break. Only wrestled at pay-per-views, which kind of sucked, but he did earn the right to do that because he's The Rock. He's already done everything everybody else is trying to do. So, it's the same reason why Undertaker wrestles once a year. He's earned that right. But the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, a.k.a. Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, the icon, the main event, and now Mr. Hall of Fame, is going to take on the best in the world, Mr. CM Punk. And if you notice, the attires are a little bit different. It's because I made a Shawn Michaels alternate attire in the sense of what would have happened. And like I got in my universe to see what would have happened if Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels never had beef. And they were a tag team. And they were the Hart Foundation. How sick would that have been? The Heartbreak Kid and Bret Hart being a tag team. You know, they would have dominated the tag team division like for years. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. Right now, Shawn Michaels coming out of the gate. Nice twisted neck breaker. And a stomp to the face of CM Punk. This match mode is on Epic, so please bear with me as I try to commentate this match. It will take a while because it is on Epic, and epic shit is about that. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then, of course, going back to the attire, CM Punk, I gave him like a Superman attire because I just thought it looked really cool. So I put some Superman colors on him, or some patriotic colors. I didn't put the yellow in there. It's more of a patriotic thing. Even though I was thinking Superman when I was doing it, I just didn't like the yellow. Shawn Michaels already flying off the top rope, but is swatted away like a fly by CM Punk as he comes up empty with the top rope missile drop kick. Now, if anybody is wondering, this match is AI versus AI. This is computer controlled. All I'm doing is commentating and talking wrestling. So I hope you guys do enjoy this matchup. Two of the greatest wrestlers that I've ever seen. In my honest opinion, CM Punk is the best in the WWE. And a close second as far as in-ring ability. If not, maybe on the same page and tied for first in wrestling ability is Daniel Bryan. But they won't use him to that ability because he's not tall enough. He could be just like CM Punk, but sadly he's not tall enough. That was a nice arm trap and neck breaker from CM Punk. Beautiful counter on the Heartbreak Kid. Pull back counter kick to the midsection and a calf kick. That's ducked by Shawn Michaels one step ahead. And now back to the arm and collar tie-up. I really wish the WWE would focus on their talent and use some of these awesome people that they have. I mean, you want to talk about Shawn Michaels being the greatest in-ring performer and CM Punk being the best in the world. This is by far a fact. Everybody knows these things. However, you have people with potential to do the exact same thing in their absence and in Shawn Michaels' retirement. I mean, CM Punk just recently coming back from break. He's ready to take on Chris Jericho at WWE Payback, their new pay-per-view, June 16th. And he's going to show why he's the best in the world, but at the same time, he can't be the only one. He can't, because let's be real, Cena can't wrestle. Yes, he's a media attraction, and yes, he's a fan favorite, and yes, he has excellent mic skills, but he can't wrestle. He's not somebody you want to watch wrestle in the ring. You want to hear him crack jokes and talk about people, make fun of people, make fun of Michael Cole, rather than you want to see him wrestle. Now, CM Punk, total package. He can wrestle and he can talk on the microphone and be as charismatic as anybody else. Shawn Michaels can do the exact same thing, which is why he's been in the game so long. He's the only guy that can be retired, come back, and still kick some of the top people in the mouth and get away with it because he's Shawn Michaels. He just has that charismatic ability to do whatever he wants. Now, just to quickly jump into a WWE 13 fact that I found out. Everybody knows that CM Punk is known in the WWE for debuting that Koji Clutch, right? Even though we know Christopher Daniels is the originator. The Koji Clutch, their bootleg version of it was literally that turnbuckle hold that CM Punk just had Shawn Michaels in before he tried that springboard dropkick. That's what they give CM Punk instead of the Koji Clutch. So if you're ever wondering why he has that move in the corner because he doesn't do that in real life in the ring, it's because they didn't have the Koji Clutch in here, and that's the closest thing to it. So that's just a little food for thought, and a little, I don't know. It's not really a tip, but just a little fact, I guess. Anyway, CM Punk, with Shawn up, showcasing some strength as he holds him there for a little bit and drops him down with a beautiful vertical suplex. These two continue to hit these standing counters on each other, this beautiful chain grappling. I will go back into what I was saying about these wrestlers that have the potential to be what Shawn Michaels was and what CM Punk currently is, and that's one of the best in the world because some of them are already there as far as that in-the-ring performance aspect. You look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins from The Shield is a fucking amazing. And if you don't believe me, go watch Ring of Honor. Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, like, their in-ring performances are so similar. The only difference is the finisher, really, you look at it. Seth Rollins not afraid to fly, very technical, and can hit counter moves from out of nowhere. And if you watch him in Ring of Honor again, I believe it was I want to say a fatal four-way match for the Ring of Honor World title. It was Jerry Lynn versus Austin Aries versus Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins, versus somebody else. I can't remember who that fourth person was, but I think it wasn't AJ Styles. I can't remember who it was, but it was an amazing match. Just look up Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The reason why I keep bringing up Ring of Honor is because they're not afraid to showcase the talent. Sometimes their promos aren't as good as the WWE storylines. However, you would much rather watch good wrestling and epic matches than to hear somebody talk really good for 2 minutes. Now, if you can do both, then congratulations, you're on Cloud 9. That was a beautiful arm wringer roll through, and then attacking the arm with the knee, and then going right back to it by attacking the wrist with that stomp right there. CM Punk with sit-down neck breaker. Shawn Michaels rocking the Bret Hart colors. Forearm and a kip up, but CM Punk getting right up, kick to the midsection. And now back to the chain grappling. Shawn Michaels Irish whip, pull back, and neck breaker. Thought he was going to send CM Punk over the top rope and to the outside. But opts to pull him back, hit him with a neck breaker, and keep him in the ring where he still can stay on top of him. Wrap around neck breaker. Shawn Michaels really working on the head area, trying to weaken it up for some sweet chin music. Jaw breaker and then the single leg Boston Crab, but too close to the ropes. Shawn Michaels easily able to get out of that hold. Nice drop toe hold counter from CM Punk. Back to the chain grappling. Just a series of chain grappling going on right here. But as these guys continue to perform these excellent counter-to-counters, Seth Rollins is not the only wrestler that can hit this potential of Shawn Michaels or CM Punk. If you want to compare new school to old school, the best of both worlds. There's also Roman Reigns, who I believe will be a future WWE champion once he breaks away from the Shield, or he might even do it with the Shield. He's just not that vocal person that talks on the mic. He just really yells a lot. You know, that big, strong guy that just yells and shows off his power. But aside from Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, of course you could throw Dean Ambrose in that conversation. So that's all of the Shield right there. But Kofi Kingston, he may not have the best mic skills in the world, and I can understand why you wouldn't want to put him as your WWE champion. However, he is one of the best in-ring performers that the WWE has to offer today. And he's definitely qualified to be the World Heavyweight Champion of SmackDown. So he's somebody that's very overlooked. He has the potential to be a top guy in the WWE, but they just won't let him. He's just as popular as anybody else. He sells merchandise and 7-Eleven cups and t-shirts and things of that nature. He appeals to the kids like John Cena. So why not give him that respect? You let him hold every other title. He's one title away from Grand Slam champion. Don't hold it in front of him and tease him with it. Give credit where credit is due and let him be a World Heavyweight Champion. Even if it's just once, he deserves it. Too many wrestlers in the past have been shafted, like Mr. Perfect, who should have been a WWF champion, and so many more. Razor Ramon, the list can go on. I'm not going to get into that long conversation. But, you know, again, all of the Shield, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, use him as what he is, a grappling submission machine. Stop making him a freaking goat face goof, and stop making Kane a big goof too, because he's a legend. He's the only guy to come in and decimate the Undertaker and have Undertaker refuse to attack somebody, even for a short period of time. Undertaker did not want to attack Kane, so put him back where he needs to be, and that's on top. Maybe not WWE champion, but make him that legendary figure. People should cheer when Kane comes out. They shouldn't be like, okay, here comes another boring tag team match. That's a beautiful slingshot crossbody from Shawn Michaels. Now, of course, Kane is old school, but the mention of Daniel Bryan made me have to throw Kane in there. More new people. Look at NXT. Why is Cassius Ohno and El Generico not on television? They're better than 85% of the roster. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. They're better than 85% of that roster. Guaranteed. It is irrefutable. And they're both better than John Cena in the ring. So, if they're better than your WWE champion in the ring, they should be on TV. That's the way I see it. If they're better than your world champion, they should be on TV. They have all the potential in the world to be top-notch athletes. I think Cassius Ohno actually could grow and be almost like a Chris Jericho, because he's a very good heel. He's a very good heel, and he's a good face. And he'll knock your head off with a rolling elbow or a mafia kick, whichever one he prefers. But like you guys can obviously see, there's talent everywhere in the WWE, but they stick to the same four people. Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Ryback, and CM Punk. CM Punk I can understand because he can do everything. John Cena, okay, cool. He's the WWE champion. He beat The Rock. We get it. It's a big money attraction. But I think if you made more stars, WWE, you would make more money. That's just me. It's like they're trying to run Hulk Hogan into the ground or something. Fisherman suplex, perfectly executed from Shawn Michaels right there. I did have to point that out. But it does seem like they're trying to run the whole John Cena gimmick like Hulk Hogan into the ground. Except the only difference is there was talent around Hulk Hogan. And CM Punk actually locking in the Anaconda Vice on the outside. He cannot win this match by submission on the outside. But Shawn Michaels able to break free of the hold before too much damage is done. Oh, counter, sweet chin music. Good night, CM Punk, as he is asleep on the outside. Shawn throwing him back in the ring as he wants to win this thing legitimately. He does not want to win this via count out or disqualification. Shawn just kicked the teeth of CM Punk down his throat. Right after CM Punk just tried to choke him out with that Anaconda Vice. Not really choke him out, but rip into that rotator cuff. Now hook of the leg, one. That's all he's going to get on the Heartbreak Kid. Now side Russian leg sweep. Single leg Boston Crab again. This is like the third time we've seen CM Punk attempt this submission. Shades of the late great Lance Storm. Another phenomenal in-ring wrestler, but not the greatest microphone or promo guy in the world. Look at this Boston Crab from Shawn going to work with the submission. But as I was saying, like, if you made more stars, like, there's a reason why people like the Attitude Era better than today's era of wrestling. And that's simply because there was more people to watch. It's not the fact that you're PG. Nobody gives a crap about that. I mean, sure, we want chair shots to the head, and we want blood, guts, and ass, and we want puppies and all that stuff. Of course, who wouldn't? But before the Attitude Era, when Bret Hart and Diesel and Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid were all competing to be number one, you still had people to watch, like The Undertaker feuding with Mankind, Razor Ramon feuding with Goldust, Savio Vega, who wasn't the favorite guy in the world to listen to or watch, but he was still really good at the time, and Wildman Mark Merrow alongside the lovely and sexy Sable. I mean, it was people there. Mr. Perfect, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. There was people to watch. Ahmed Johnson. So even the mid-carders would draw your eye, and they would make you money. They would make you money. You could put any one of those guys in a commercial for wrestling, and people would be like, "Oh hell yeah, Ahmed Johnson! Let me buy some of this merchandise. Let me get my Ahmed Pearl River Plunge T-shirt. Let me get my Shattered Dreams director's clipboard or whatever it is. Let me get all that shit." You see what I'm saying? But let me get my Razor Ramon gold chains. There's merchandise out the wazoo for the stars that you make, but for some reason we want to stick to putting John Cena down everybody's throats, and it's annoying and it's boring. Nobody wants to watch that shit. So that's just my view on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the John Cena thing is working and I'm just not seeing it because I'm so accustomed to so many other things. But there's a reason why you bring The Rock back. There's a reason why you bring Triple H back. There's a reason why Undertaker wrestles once a year at WrestleMania. I will get to that after this sequence of awesome moves from CM Punk as he traps the arm, hits the neck breaker after 2 beautiful calf kicks. Hook of the leg, 1. No. Kicks out at the count of 1. Now Shawn Michaels with the Irish whip into the corner. Kick to the midsection. Now Shawn going to work with a series of strikes. Side headlock. And that's countered. Now Shawn trying to take control of this here, but he gets caught. Counter side headlock. That's countered to an arm wringer from Shawn. Go behind waist lock. Up and down. Swinging backdrop. Shawn Michaels. Oh, wait a minute. Victory roll. 1, 2, 3. No. Shawn with the counter. 1, 2, 3. No, he kicks out. I thought that was going to be it right there. That might have been the closest counts of the night. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2. No, he kicks out. That was the closest 2 count of this matchup so far. The counter small cradle from CM Punk after the victory roll counters from between both him and Shawn Michaels. Awesome sequence right there. But as I was saying, the reason why all these legendary people come back, Shawn Michaels comes back at WrestleMania. Why? Because people know him. He's a star. He draws attention. Undertaker, legend, the star. He draws attention. His match at WrestleMania is more important than the world title matches at WrestleMania, which is cool, but at the same time it's sad. The only reason why that his match is more important than the WWE Championship is because every pay-per-view, the person wrestling for the WWE Championship is one of the same 4 people. That's what makes it so boring. So it's sad. This guy can come back, wrestle once a year, and his match is more important than any other match that you've had all year. So it's really sad. But these old stars are gonna have to retire soon. Triple H is 44, Undertaker's 48, Shawn is 48. These guys aren't gonna wrestle forever. They're not gonna keep making appearances. And Shawn Michaels is about to go to sleep on the outside of the ring. GTS Shawn Michaels. Good fucking night as he is busted open. Oh, and then kicked in the back of the cranium. Mirko Krokop style. Oh, look at the blood pour down his chest. And now the Pepsi twist, Ring of Honor move. Landing on Shawn Michaels on the outside. And Shawn better quickly get back in the ring here before he's counted out, and he does. I don't know how, but he did. But when all these guys retire, who are you going to go to then? People are already getting tired of Ryback. It was cool when he wasn't the main guy and he was being on TV. Now that he's one of the main guys and Alberto Del Rio fell off the radar, Jack Swagger fell off the radar, who are you going to use now? Nobody really cares about Randy Orton like they used to, even though he's good. But he hasn't been in the top guy picture, so I mean... And if he has, it's been overlooked by something else. But anyways, more of a rant than commentary. I just wanted to express that with true wrestling fans, as we have 2 true wrestlers going at it here in this simulated WrestleMania 14 match. Shawn Michaels slingshot body press. Oh, wait a minute. Small cradle. Small cradle. 1, 2. And Shawn with a counter. 1, 2. And CM Punk with a counter. 1, 2. And it goes back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Shawn Michaels just stole it from CM Punk. Shawn Michaels just stole the victory from CM Punk. You look at some of these highlights, and I guess my rant ended at a perfect time. Here's the first sequence from the small cradle. Or the end of it, I should say. Shawn Michaels kicked out at a very, very close 2 count. Leg grapevine and elbow right to the face of Shawn Michaels from CM Punk. And that's what busted him open. And this is what opened that gash even more. GTS go to sleep on the outside of the ring. That was followed up by a Pepsi twist. And Shawn Michaels would go on to win it by countering the small cradle twice and pulling off the victory. As you see the blood all over his chest and pouring down his face. Or drizzling down his face, I should say. It's not really pouring. But the Heartbreak Kid victorious over CM Punk. The best in the world just had his show stopped by the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania, and most importantly to him, Mr. Hall of Fame, Shawn Michaels. Until next time, guys, I will see you next time. It's your boy, CC Semtex, and I'm out. Peace!